right now on 10 News at 11.
A man goes door to door asking for money.
He immediately decided that I was a racist and called that to my face and began cussing at me.
The violent confrontation after residents tell him no.
She murdered her ex-husband and his second wife. ABC 10 News shares the letter just received from Betty Broderick herself behind bars 30 years later.
Plus the Chargers making another move, this time overseas. The new buzz around the NFL that could send the Chargers to London.
Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
Neighbors afraid to answer their doors tonight. They are worried about this man caught on camera taking a swing at a woman.
10 News reporter Anthony Pura is live in Claremont, where police say they found him this afternoon, but they didn't arrest him. Anthony?
No, they didn't. Now, someone recognized this man here in the Claremont neighborhood today. They called police. Police arrived, but they ended up letting him go. Now, neighbors are shaking their heads, worried that this guy is a ticking time bomb. A viewer shot this video along Taos Drive in Claremont. Police have a man in handcuffs. They say it's the same guy in this video, taking a swing at a woman in Pacific Beach over the weekend. He claims to be going door to door collecting money for a cause, but people say he doesn't like getting turned down. He turned violent after they began recording him.
He chases me across the street, screaming that he's going to kill me.
Police say they detained him Monday, questioned him, and then let him go. They didn't give any other details about this encounter.
It's a little bit of concern that he's still out there.
John Christensen says the man came to his Ocean Beach house on October 16th. He became angry when John declined to give him money. And when he left to go knock on another door, John says he followed the man, told him he needed to leave the neighborhood, and the man lost it.
Basically said that he did want to knock me out, was getting in my face, calling me all kinds of names. Finally, he did leave, but not before spitting in my face. So.
The man also flipped out at Mark Brown, who lives a half-mile away. He, too, decided not to donate.
He took a couple of steps towards me, but didn't swing on me or anything, was just cussing me out. I hope you die tonight. And that was his quote.
Both now warning neighbors not to answer the door if they see this man knocking, worried the confrontations could escalate.
He's a loose cannon, I guess, is what you could say.
So the people we spoke with today, they don't remember this guy identifying himself or the organization he's with, so they're very skeptical that he is collecting money for a charity or not. Police, in the meantime, advising homeowners to go ahead and hang no soliciting signs on their doors. We're reporting live tonight. Anthony Pura, 10 News.
Anthony, thank you. And breaking news of a deadly ambush. At least 10 Americans killed, several more kidnapped by a cartel in Mexico. This happened in the town of Bavispe, which is about 200 miles southeast of Tucson. Details are still being gathered. Family members say at least 10 people were killed. Many of them were young children. There are reports that several other children may have also been kidnapped. The victims belong to a branch of the Mormon Church that lives in Mexico and has dual citizenship. Mexican police are investigating.
And more breaking news now. A man and a woman seriously hurt after a driver plowed into them while crossing the street in Choyas View. This is video from our photojournalist Paul Anderick. He's live with the 10 News Breaking News Tracker with an update. Paul.
We're at the intersection of 47th and Hartley Street. This incident happened about 8 o'clock tonight at this intersection here. You can see there is a crosswalk. It is marked, and there are flashing lights. This is where the crosswalk is, crosses 47th Street. I'll show you some video of what the scene looked like a little bit earlier tonight. Now, we're told that a mother, a father, and their children, an entire family in a group, were crossing the street. The children were okay, but the man and the woman were struck by that motorist. That driver did stop, stay on scene, and cooperate with police. Now, they both suffered major injuries, many broken bones, leg bones, and other fractures, rushed to an area hospital. At this point, we don't have any information that those injuries are life-threatening, but again, they are major injuries. Fortunately, none of the rest of the family was struck. That driver, again, stopped on scene to talk with police. They're saying no drugs or alcohol were involved, and police just finished up with the scene here probably in the last 15 minutes or so and have opened up the scene. So we'll bring you any new updates we get on 10 News this morning. Back to you.
Is anyone in this room for the mighty? Enough said.
Neighbors voicing their frustration and anger tonight about plans to turn the Cottonwood golf course into a sand mine. 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena shows us why people in Rancho San Diego say this project has no business in their backyard.
Hundreds of people showed up to tonight's meeting, and many of them that packed inside that auditorium were opposed to the Cottonwood sand mining project.
I mean, is anyone in this room for the mining? Enough said.
Speaker after speaker got up to say their piece, bringing up all kinds of issues they worry could arise if the proposed project is approved. Tonight was a meeting organized by the County of San Diego and the first step before an environmental impact report can begin.
What guarantees are we going to have that our housing values aren't going to drop?
From property values to air pollution and health concerns, as well as talk of traffic and noise issues. An opposition group called Stop Cottonwood Sand Mine says this was exactly the turnout they were hoping for.
Now, as a committee, we believe this sand mine is totally out of character with the existing community.
The project is a proposal from New West Investment and the owner of the Cottonwood golf course, Michael Schlesinger. He's the same Beverly Hills real estate agent who also owns the shuttered golf courses at Stone Ridge Country Club and Escondido Country Club. At this point, the project still needs to go through many more steps before it could get the green light. But in the meantime, the people living nearby say they're prepared to fight.
This is tantamount to a factory being proposed in the middle of a residential area, and that's why we see the turnout we have tonight, and that's why we see the opposition we had tonight.
The county is now asking people to submit in writing their opinions on the Cottonwood sand mining project. People have until November 22nd to do so. Reporting in Rancho San Diego, Lindsay Pena, 10 News.
And after a 7-year battle, new homes are finally being built at the former Escondido Country Club. The golf course closed in 2012. Multiple developers battled with residents ever since over plans for more homes. We reported earlier this year they finally reached a settlement to proceed. Work is underway on the land to prepare 380 new homes. The first homes are expected to be available for sale late next year.
A startling move by former NFL star Kellen Winslow Jr. Moments before his retrial on sexual assault charges was about to begin today, he pleaded guilty. He appeared to agonize over what to do until the very last moment.
Is there any way I could get a couple minutes or no? Sorry, I'm just not thinking very clearly.
At times, Winslow looked back to his father for support. His father is Chargers Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow Sr. Ultimately, Winslow, who had been facing life in prison, pleaded guilty to rape and battery. Well, now the judge will decide on a sentence range between 12 and 18 years.
I pray to God that you give me 12 and I can go home to my family.
Winslow's lawyers tell 10 News he has brain damage from his NFL career. They do plan to argue that should be a factor in getting a lighter sentence.
It was 30 years ago tomorrow an enraged socialite entered her ex-husband's Hillcrest home and became one of the most notorious killers in San Diego history.
As 10 News reporter Michael Chen explains, the twisted tale of Betty Broderick is not over yet.
When you looked into her eyes, what did you see?
I saw a woman without remorse.
Betty Broderick, suburban socialite turned killer, wearing a wry smile in these prison photos dating back 8 years to the most recent one from 2018.
She was just hell-bent on getting her pound of flesh. She was hell-bent on revenge.
Deputy District Attorney Richard Sachs was there at both hearings where Broderick was denied parole, the most recent one nearly 3 years ago.
When the impact statements were being delivered by victims and victims' representatives, she smirked.
It was 30 years ago when Betty Broderick first captured a nation's attention as police descended on a Hillcrest mansion on Cypress Avenue. Neighbor Linda Walter.
It was shocking. It was like we were watching a movie.
On that Sunday morning around 5:30, Betty Broderick stole her daughter's key, walked into the home, and emptied her .38, shooting and killing her ex-husband Dan and new wife Linda in their bed.
In a high-profile trial,
and I just fired the gun and this big noise went off.
Broderick took the stand, claimed her ex-husband was abusive. The jury didn't buy it, finding her guilty on 2 counts of second-degree murder, the case spawning numerous books and a made-for-TV movie detailing a scorned woman's escalating rage.
She had gotten into the house and grabbed some of his Armani suits and had a bonfire on the lawn.
You know why that alarm wasn't working in the home? Because she had rammed it with her truck.
Decades later, Broderick would face parole hearings in 2010 and 2017. Sources telling us her 4 children divided on whether she should get out.
Unrepentant, callous.
Sachs says in those hearings, Broderick repeatedly blamed the victims.
Banging her fist, calling him an SOB, apologizing to his friends and saying, "I'm sorry you lost your drinking buddy."
An attitude evident in a letter she recently wrote 10 News in response to a request for an interview. In it, she claimed she was gang raped by the crooked courts, adding her ex-husband used his power as a lawyer to threaten and intimidate her for years. Sachs says the Betty Broderick we see today has changed little.
From the very first days that she plotted the crime and committed it, she's basically stuck in that place.
Michael Chen, 10 News.
Betty Broderick won't be eligible for parole until January 2032, but that could be moved up by 8 years, depending on several factors, including good behavior.